Hey everybody, and welcome back to the live channel, and we are live today for Max Monday. Of course, every Monday 6 PM till 7 PM a Dynamax Pokemon gets featured on the Max Power Spots, and today is no different. We've got Machop today, so that's going to be quite a nice one. Of course, Machop can be shiny, so we could end up getting a nice shiny Dynamax Machop, hopefully. So that is what the aim of today is going to be. Hey Aston, thanks so much for joining. So today's Max Monday starts in around about 12 minutes time, and there is actually a couple of Dynamaxes near us, as we'll bell them there, and there is actually a Machop across there as well. So we'll head over to that Machop in just a moment and potentially do it early before then it starts again at 6 PM. So we may be able to fit 2 in on that one power spot, and we'll wait for this Beldum to turn it into a Machop, because we want to try and go after the Pokemon that is featured during the Max Monday. And there's a great route there as well, so we might tie that in as well if we can get enough people interested. Definitely quite a few of these 5-star raids actually about, so that is good time. But we might be able to do a couple of Groudon as well on the live stream, which would be awesome. I'll skip the Max Monday since we already got the G-Max Machamp and the Comday earlier. Yeah, exactly. So, of course, the G-Max is always going to be better than the D-Max in every scenario. So if a Dynamax Pokemon gets released on a game and you do a little bit of research and find it has a G-Max form, so a bit like Corviknight, Rookidee, for example, Rookidee has been released as a Dynamax, but Corviknight, its evolved form, does actually get a Gigantamax. Now, there is only 27 Pokemon which do get Gigantamax forms, so it's worth just researching what those are, and then you can sort of wonder whether it's worth going to, doing too many of the Dynamaxes, or whether it's just worth doing a few and then focusing more on the Gigantamax when that gets released. But as for Machop today, we're only going to be doing the 3 particle ones, so we're not really wasting anything, we're not really using any particle packs. So we're only going to be doing the 3 ones today and just seeing what we get, really. Yeah, definitely planning on getting tons of XLs during the Com Day, yeah, 100%. So it is, of course, as well, during this event, during this Max Monday, is of course the Instrumental Wonders event as well, and that is where we've obviously had the in-person Go Fest event in New Jersey, which I know has been affected quite heavily by the weather. Hiya, how are you? Thanks so much for joining. So yeah, New Jersey, unfortunately, the in-person event in New Jersey has been affected quite badly during the weather. I've seen quite a few reports where some people had to even evacuate the park at some stages because of the thunderstorm. So hopefully everybody is safe who is over there, and they've hopefully had some sort of makeup event. But yes, we have Inteleon this weekend. We do have G-Max Inteleon as well this weekend, which is going to be quite interesting. You can't get it shiny, unfortunately, but it is going to be a very, very good G-Max, as with the other 2 Generation 8 starters, both Rillaboom and Scorbunny, or Rillaboom and Cinderace, should I say. Scorbunny's evolved form. Both of those are the best in class now in terms of G-Max. So Cinderace, should I say, outperforms Charizard as a best fire-type G-Max attacker, and Rillaboom outperforms Venusaur as a best grass-type attacker. So that is absolutely awesome. But unfortunately, like I say, you can't get them shiny yet at the moment. I fully expect those Generation 8 Pokemon, those starter Pokemon, Scorbunny, Sobble, and the Grookey to get their Com Days probably next year. And then we may get a refresh of those G-Max ones where you can actually get them shiny. So hopefully that's going to happen sometime next year. got a shiny G-Max Charizard. That is absolutely awesome. G-Max Charizard does look amazing anyway, but to get a shiny one is just absolutely insane. It's the only one out of those 3 that I was missing. $489 million since the last time. That is awesome. Good going. That is very, very good going. How much did you grind? Well, I'm currently on nearly 800. I'm on 784, 785 we've just gone over today. 785 mil today. So yeah, quite a big jump. Name a Pokemon for edit. Name a Pokemon for edit. What do you mean by that? Sorry. Name a Pokemon, go make an edit on it. Well, I'd always go with Gengar because Gengar's my favourite. So see how much you can edit Gengar. I'll try, it's my first time. Yeah, no worries. There's always got to be a first. Yeah, some of my locals do have insane stats. There's one in particular who's over 2 billion XP. He's probably the highest local in terms of XP. I'd probably say I'm up there. I would say I'm probably 3rd, 4th best local in terms of XP, that is. Of course, you've got battle stats and different things like that. But yeah, there's one guy in particular who does know a lot of the big YouTubers. He's big friends with Fleece King and stuff like that, and he's just, yeah, he's insane. He doesn't do socials that much though, so he sort of keeps himself to himself and just goes to all the in-person events and hangs around with all these big YouTubers and just keeps himself to himself. He just literally grinds a game all the time, and he's just absolutely insane, to be fair. Can't really say a bad word about him. Once you're beyond 1 billion, yeah. So that's the aim, to try and get to 1 billion by the end of this year would be pretty cool. I think if I do get to 1 billion by the end of this year, I will only be the 2nd person to do that in my community after the person I mentioned before. So it would be quite an achievement, that, to be the 2nd person in my community. But even though, to be fair, we're only quite a small community, it's only a local town, but there is some really, really good Pokemon Go players. You don't realise how good they are until you start comparing them to other YouTubers and other people who are like supposedly really, really good players. And then you think, well, I know somebody better than them. And it's like, it's insane, really. You don't really see it that they're that good, really, until you start comparing them against these other people. And it is really insane. So for such a small community, we've got some absolutely incredible players, some really committed players. So we're going to head down to Machop and do this one early. Yeah, no worries. Thanks very much for dropping in. Right, so I'm going to jump in this Machop and we'll do this one as an early one. And then we can do it again when it respawns. So let's jump in this one. And let's do this. What about catches? Highest catches in the community. I think there's somebody who's nearly on 1 million. And that's the same person, in fact. It's the same person who was just over 2 billion XP. He's at 2.3 billion XP. And yeah, he's nearly on 1 million catches now as well, which is pretty insane. I think he's on around about 900,000 as we speak. Personally, I'm only on around about 600, nearly 550, something like that. So yeah, again, he completely outclasses me on catches. But yeah, I think it's always going to be one of those games. If you're really good at something, there's always going to be somebody who's better. It just happens to be that I'm in a community where there's one person in particular who's better than me at most things, to be fair. But yeah, it's good to have that sort of person, because at least you've got somebody who's similar sort of gameplay as you, if not better. So if you're around town, he's always going to be around and always helping out with raids and stuff. So it's always good with that. Yeah, it's insane. Right, so the first... Oh, I didn't think we'd have to Dynamax then. But again, it is a level 2, so we will have to Dynamax on these, I suppose. So we're going with Dynamax Gengar. Gengar's probably one of the best ones to use against Machop tonight, to be fair. So Dynamax getting a look in. We won't use a Gigantamax all the time. We'll use one of the Hundo Dynamax Gengars we have. We do have 2 Hundo Dynamax Gengars, should I say, which is pretty decent. Hi Emma, how are you? Thanks so much for joining the channel. And let's see what the first Dynamax Machop gives us. No shiny, 700 CP. So the Hundo tonight that we need to keep an eye out for, the Hundo Dynamax Machop, is 730 CP. That's the CP we need to be keeping an eye out for tonight. And hopefully we get a green one as well. Now the green one, the shiny one, is 1 in 512 odds. They are full odds, these Dynamaxes are. Unless, of course, like last week we had Chansey, and that, of course, is a perma boosted shiny anyway. So that's always 1 in 64 odds. So unfortunately, Machop is a full odd shiny, and we are going to try and time these particles correctly and get as many as we can today. Now we have got the weekend bonus, of course, during the G-Max that we had over a weekend, the G-Max Cinderace. You can actually claim up to 1,600 particles every day instead of a normal 800. So we are still taking advantage of that, because that's part of the Instrumental Wonders event, which carries on until tonight, and that means we can collect 1,600 particles today. So we're trying to time that in the best way possible to get the most out of the free particles with Machop. So hopefully we can do around about six, maybe even 7 of these tonight if we do it correctly. Haven't quite done the math yet, but yes, I overcapped it. I'm at 12. Yeah, so if you claim your 800 particles when you're close to that 1,500 holding limit, then yeah, you can go well over it. So yeah, that's what we're going to try and do today. So of course this next week, or this next weekend, should I say, this weekend leading up to it now, we have got Gigantamax Inteleon being released on the game. And that again will probably be the best water type. I do need to look into the stats when its release does happen. Now, of course, its release will happen in conjunction to the next in-person Go Fest event, which is also this weekend in Paris. So I know a lot of the people in my community are going to Paris. There's quite a few people who are going there in person. Unfortunately, I won't be able to, but There is quite a few of the locals going. So how our local group will survive and manage to do some GMAX in Tillion will yet to be seen. Hopefully we can sort of rely on invites and we can get a few done at least. But yeah, I fully expect GMAX in Tillion to be the best water type. Unfortunately, I'm not going Paris this year, unfortunately. I still need to redo my passport, to be fair. But yeah, I think hopefully in the next coming years, I'll be able to go a few more in-person events. I did go to the Go Fest in London a couple of years ago in 2023. That was a very good event. And we managed to stay down London and do a bit of sightseeing. But yeah, it would be good to go some more events over the next couple of years. So 694 CP on the Machop, and it's not very good at all. 2-star, 12, 13, 10, 11, 13, 10 should I say, not very good at all. So that Beldon that we walked past before should now have turned into a Machop, and it has done. And there is a Groudon there as well. So we'll go over to that Groudon and see if we can get enough people interested in that. And then we'll start heading down to these Machop. Now, there could be a couple down there. And there is also one across there. So we'll see what's happening. But yeah, we'll head to that Groudon first. See if we can get enough people involved in that. And then we can head down to our next Machop. Don't forget to get those extra shiny background dogs from your friends. Yeah, hopefully we can save me a couple. I'm hoping I'm front and centre of a queue with all the events that I host in the community. I hope that we can at least give me something back. But yeah, it would be good if we can. Right, let's check out this rocket balloon. Hopefully it's Cliff. We have got a radar in. It's Sierra. That's a little bit of a bummer. I think I've seen a Cliff somewhere today though. I think a Cliff is on one of these somewhere next to this yellow gem. I saw him pop up before. Yeah, the in-person backgrounds with the location cards, they are absolutely awesome. I've got a few location cards ones, so let's have a quick look and see what I've got previously. So if we go show more, you've got a tag down here where you can see location background. And I've got some pretty cool ones. Some of these obviously were traded to me. So I've got the Expo Shiny Pikachu. That is an awesome one. And it went to a 1-star, but still very cool. Seoul, Korea, extra large Pikachu, non-shiny. Hawaii Pikachu, non-shiny again, but still very cool. London background for Rayquaza. Didn't manage to get a shiny Rayquaza or London background, annoyingly. LA background Dialga, Origin form Dialga, Palkia with an LA background. Again, Origin form Palkia with an LA background. That is the one that we level 50'd because it is a 93 with a background, so that was quite a nice one. Obviously lucky, so it was cheaper to power up as well. And one of the best ones with a background, we did get this Kyurem, which was lucky traded to us, and unfortunately it was the lowest of the lucky trade stats that you could have, a 12 12 12, which was very annoying, but still a nice Kyurem with a background. And this is probably one of the best ones. This one we got down London when we went to the London Go Fest back in 2023. So it's nice to get one by myself and not have to rely on trades. So all the London ones I've got are the ones I managed to get, but this is the only shiny one. And it is, of course, shiny Yveltal. Very nice shiny. And it has got the London background. So that is a very cool shiny to get. It's just a shame the stats weren't a little bit better, but there we go. So let's jump into this Groudon and see if we can get enough interest on the remote invites and people potentially jumping on off a friends list. So let's spam some invites to people who are currently online and we'll see what happens. See if we can get enough people interested. Where you at? Where you at, Osaka? No, unfortunately, I got it through a trade. I got the Osaka Expo Shiny Pikachu for a trade, which I thought was pretty cool, to be fair. I'm glad that somebody was willing to part exchange that. So we managed to get one person in. That's cool. Hopefully we can get a few more people in. So let's spam some more invites and see who we can get in. I got Shiny Charmander and Squirtle from the Expo. That is awesome. Congrats on that. That is awesome. We can just do a couple more people joining us here, if at all possible. You can duo it. Yeah, it's a very tough duo, isn't it? Are we going to risk the duo? I'm not too sure. I'm happy to stay in if they are. We'll primal that Kyogre if that's the case. No, we've dropped out and we're left in it. No! Right, let's back out. I can't solo it. I might be able to duo it, but I can't solo it, that's for sure. Right, let's drop out and let's see if we can get any more invites in. Now, we know who joined previous, so we'll spam them an invite in just a second. Yeah, it's annoying when we drop out right at the last second, isn't it? It is rather annoying. It's annoying that you've got to wait as well. You've got to wait like, I don't know, 30 seconds or something like that until you can start inviting again. It is a little bit annoying, that. Right, let's see if we can get anyone else in. I'm trying to send the people who I know attend invites. Pokemon Fire Blast is now joined again, which is good. Can we be friends? Yeah, of course. I can send you my trainer code in just a moment. We've got 3 in. That's good. Yeah, I can send you my trainer code in just a second. I'll put it up on the screen and then you can add me. Oh, look at this. We've got all the crew joining now. No problem at all. So yeah, after this raid, Mr. Tech was there too. Yeah, Mr. Tech is awesome. Yeah, I can join after this raid. I can put my trainer code up on the screen. That's no problem. And then anybody who wishes to add me, who hasn't already got me, can add me after this. We may have to switch into our primal Kyogre. It's like 5th place, I think, so it probably won't go looking if we don't switch into it. In fact, we'll do that now. Let's switch into our primal Kyogre. It does look so awesome when we're shiny and primal. I love how we've kept it, well, how we've changed it into black. And then we've kept the pink right on the end of its fins. It is a really, really cool shiny. Same with Groudon as well. Love how we've made that black as well, the same as obviously Shiny Rayquaza. I'm guessing that's why they've done that, why they've tied it all in. Kyurem used Ice Beam. This white Kyurem is absolutely amazing. It's always recommended in the raids, and also Team Go Rocket is one of the best things to use in Team Go Rocket grunts, even when it's not super effective. It's a bit like Kartana. Kartana used to be one of the best things to have in Team Go Rocket grunt, both for leader and also the grunts, because it would just take huge chunks of damage even when it's not very effective. And white Kyurem is up there as one of the same as well, if not the best one to use now in the grunts. It just absolutely obliterates everything. So a very easy win with 5 others in the lobby. And the CP we need to keep an eye out for when it counts down is 2351. That's if it's not weather boosted, which it isn't, and it is absolutely terrible. So 2286, I think that was. Absolutely shocking CP, and it's not green, which is even worse. So let's see what this is as we catch it, or try to catch it at least. Excellent throw. And we critical caught it, so that's not bad. Managed to get that pretty easily there. So let's see how good this is. And not very is the answer to that question. Not very good at all. Yeah, it was quick to take down, that one was, wasn't it? Right, so let's head down to this Machop down here. Hey Tal, how are you? Thanks very much for joining. What's the name of that catch? Groudon? Is that what you meant? Yeah, I mean, it's so cool that Groudon and Kyogre have come back around in raids, because it has been quite a while since we've had them. But it's just unfortunate that they aren't there with the primals, because of course then you can't actually gain any energy if you are wanting the energy for the primal evolutions. Trainer code, yes, thank you very much for reminding me. So trainer code is on the screen now. If anybody does wish to add me, I've got around about 10 spaces left on my friends list. I know it says I've got around about 18, but it's annoying because if you've got somebody friends on Campfire, it actually takes it off your how many you can hold. So even though they might not have Pokemon Go, if you've got a friend on Campfire, it just takes one of your friend spaces, which is really annoying. But yeah, so make sure to take a screenshot of that and send me an invite, and we will accept you while we are live on stream. And there is a Cliff. We did see one earlier on today, and I was hoping he was around this area. So there we go. So let's swap, or let's heal our team and jump into this. Send you a friend request, brilliant. I'm only doing it for the hundo. Yeah, I so want a hundo Groudon. Definitely want a hundo Groudon. I don't think I've managed to get a hundo Groudon nor Kyogre yet, which is rather annoying, but still. I suppose it's not supposed to be easy. So there goes Annihilate, and get rid of this one more shield. Since when did Cliff start using Annihilate? I think it started using Annihilate just at this last rotation. I don't think it's ever had Annihilate before. It was just since the last rotation where it had Gibble. Hey Sadman, how are you? Hopefully you're not sad. Hopefully having a good day. Switching to Kyogre. and hopefully just wind this Tyranitar down now. We could shield that, we can outstand that, that's fine. And then a few more surfs and that'll do that. So I'd say Cliff is the only one I'm actually using a radar on at the moment, because of course out of the three it's probably got the best Pokemon. Gibble is super useful if you get a decent shadow, and then of course with it being shiny available now, it's absolutely awesome. Tiny Gibble, 370 CP, I don't think that's very good. I think we want around about 450 for a weather boost, but still a tiny shadow Gibble is pretty cool nonetheless. First ball catch, that's pretty cool, and catch a dragon Pokemon, so that's got that task done. Yeah, it's shocking IVs, but still the smallest Gibble I've had, and it's a shadow one, which is pretty cool nonetheless. So we'll label him up as extra small, and we'll start heading down to this next Dynamax Machop. Right, friends request, and I'll accept that. So there's actually two Dynamax Machops here, quite close to each other, which is good. Phalanx, no shiny. Now, during this event, the Instrumental Wonders event, which, like I say, I think it ends tonight. So if you haven't yet got a shiny Phalanx, Phalanx is boosted during this event, and it's boosted to a very, very weird shiny odd, because normally the shiny boosted during these events are normally around 1 in 64, 1 in 128. 1 in 64 and 1 in 128 is quite common shiny odds in the game. Those odds have been in the game for a number of years. But Phalanx, this event, has been found with a 1 in 48 shiny odds, which is just a weird number. It's a brand new shiny odds which hasn't been in the game. Now, I half wondered whether those shiny odds were perhaps being tested during this event as a potential shiny odds for the Go Fest, like the Go Fest Global maybe. I'm not too sure, but 1 in 48, it just seems a really weird number. Why they would choose that, I don't know, but there's a lot of reports and a lot of websites which are stating that it is 1 in 48 for Phalanx, this event, so it's a very, very good time to try and get a shiny Phalanx. But like I say, that event does finish, well, we'll check on the Today View. Oh, it finishes in 2 days, so it finishes on Wednesday at 8 PM your local time. So you've got a few more days yet to get a shiny Phalanx if you haven't already. And as we say that, I have actually got a shiny Phalanx here, and it's stacked in my collection. Now I'm going to catch this maybe later. We had this earlier today, and wasn't in the right place where I could actually screen record it, so I saved it in my stack, and we'll catch that later and do a little YouTube short video on that. But it's a very, very nice shiny. It is a very, very nice shiny. Even if it looks sunburnt, it is a super cool shiny. Can't wait for try and get one with a train costume. I know a lot of people who have gone to the in-person events have obviously got the Phalanx with the train costume, and it just looks like one of the best costumes they have ever released on Pokemon Go. It just fits Phalanx down to a T. It's so cool. After the Chaos or the costumes that we did for Nidoking and Nidoqueen, this one is just so much better. I'm so happy that we managed to spend the time and actually do a decent job of a costume for once. Because those Nidoqueen and Nidoking costumes with a crown, they were really, really disappointing. We didn't even go to the length of giving Nidoqueen a queen crown. It was terrible, really. They just literally found a crown off Google Images and stuck it on an Nidoking. So yeah, it was terrible. Can I see your badges? Yeah, I can show you my badges in just a second. That's no problem. Any badge in particular that you want to see? Or just a general overview? Right, so our third Machop of the evening. Let's see if we can get any better than the first two. The highest we've had tonight is 700 out of the first two, so let's see if this is any higher. And 705, so we're going in the right direction, but still quite some way off that Hundo CP of 730, so hopefully we can get closer to that in the next couple. Again, first ball catch, so that's good. 705, 12, 12, 15. So not amazing, but it is a 3-star. Probably won't get saved, to be honest, because like we mentioned before, those G-Max Machamp just completely outclass the D-Max ones. So we are literally just hunting for a Hundo or a 98. That would be still very nice. And the shiny one, that is what we're wanting after that Gigantamax Machamp release. So that is why we're just spending the 3 particles on the Max Monday today. So badges wise, is there anything? Almost 4,000 Candy XLs. What, for Machop? Is that what I've got? I always evolve Machop, so normal candies. Yeah, nearly 4,000. Yeah, normal candies I always waste because I'm always evolving for the XP. So yeah, I evolve Pokemon until we get down to 500 candies, and then I don't go below that on most cases. But yeah, Candy XLs, you just never get a look in with stuff like that. As you'll see, most Pokemon I've got down to around about 500 candies, and then I'll keep them just above that. So in terms of badges, is there any badges in particular you want to see? I know yesterday, obviously, hopefully you managed to do it as well, but there was that Skidoo research. If you watched some of the Twitch stream, some of the Pokemon Go live Twitch stream, the official Pokemon Go Twitch stream, you had to watch half an hour of it, and then you got a Twitch code given to you that you can then put in game, and you could basically retrieve a research which give you a Skidoo encounter. And we did get our Skidoo encounter this morning. If you've not yet seen the YouTube short video, make sure to go check that out. It was rather good Skidoo. I'm quite happy with it. But when I was watching that Twitch stream, when I was watching the half an hour, they were interviewing somebody who was, he said he was obsessed with doing buddies, and then he said that he got 160 best buddies in the game, which was pretty cool. But I was sat there watching it thinking, I've got over 520. And he's apparently obsessed. I mean, I've only done about 10 best buddies this year, because last year I did over 170 in 1 year. So yeah, I wasn't aiming on best buddies this year, not after last year. Instead, we decided to spend most of our time getting XP this year. That's one of our targets. So yeah, it was quite, when I listened and he was saying that he was obsessed with getting best buddies and stuff like this, I was like, oh, he's going to have like loads. And then when it came up that he got 160, I thought, is that it? I didn't know what to think. I'd rather catch it in a while during the Go Fest than watch it watch a video, to be honest. Yeah, fair play, fair play. I mean, the only reason I thought about doing research was, of course, Skidoo could be shiny, and with it being off of research, you can obviously get it with a minimum of 12s on the stats. So that's the only reason I was trying to get one off of research, was hoping that it would be a decent shiny one. But unfortunately it wasn't. So 713 on this Machop, and we're still heading in the right direction, but still some way off that 730 CP that we're after. So let's have a quick look and see which one, or how good this one is. So 13, 14, 13. So an improvement on the last one, I'd say, from 12, 12, 15 to 13, 14, 13. That's still pretty good. 160 best buddies is pretty good too. Yeah, it is. It is. I must keep sort of saying to myself, not everybody had as much time as I did last year and to do that many best buddies. I mean, doing 170 best buddies in 1 year was just a little bit insane, to be fair. I know quite a few people who have done more. If you start scrolling through Twitter and stuff, you'll soon find people who are over 800 best buddies in a lot of cases. But yeah, I think anything over 500 is pretty insane, to be fair. After doing all those best buddies, I just hope there's a research task, which means you can't get to level 60 unless you've got 500 best buddies. And then I'll just be laughing at everybody. I'll be like, haha, that's the reason I did them. So yeah, before we carry on walking down this direction, I just want to check to see that there is another Dynamax Machop down here, because it's not looking likely. And I don't know if there is. Let's just head a bit further down. Maybe we don't come in until we're slightly more in range. Hopefully we'll get one pop up soon. A little bit further down. There's normally one down here, if not two. Stone Journer. Love this guy. Of course, UK exclusive, so it's a very, very cool regional. Ferroseed, can we come first? Yes, we are. 601, and they had 460, so yeah, we're beating them by quite some margin. Yeah, so badges. Somebody was asking about badges in the comments. Let's have a quick look and see trainer badges. So, in terms of trainer badges wise, Jogger, we're on 33,238. Obviously, these are Kanto ones. Collector, Pokemon Court, 550,000 or 551,106. Scientist, Evolve Pokemon. Now, this one, we've been evolving a lot of things this year. Because obviously one of the yearly targets that I set myself was XP, and to try and get from 541 million, which we started the year on, up to 1 billion, I started doing a lot of evolves. And when I mean a lot, some days I do like 300 evolves, just sat there evolving with a lucky egg on for about an hour. And yeah, so I do a lot of evolves, and this badge was actually on 5,000, just over 5,000 evolves at the start of the year. So we're into June now. 6 months later, I've managed to do 31,000 evolves more than what I started on. So 31,000 evolves in 6 months. Yeah. I don't know whether to be proud of that or whether to be slightly concerned with how much I'm evolving, but yeah, it's a lot. breeder, I don't really hatch that many eggs, so that's only at 12,500. I don't go buy incubators and stuff like that, so that's what it is. Backpacker, 251,000 stops. Sight Seeker, only 4,400 on that one. Battle Girl, 14,704. Pikachu fan, that's a pretty easy one to do with all the Pikachu events. Raids, that is anything that's not a legendary, 4,747. And that is the ones that are legendary, 6,463. So we've not done too many raids really compared to other people, of course. Berries, do trying to remember to feed berries into gyms when I've got the time, after I'm not evolving. So yeah. And then it's just a lot of other decent badges. So if there's any in particular that you want to check out, I'm more than willing to show. The showcase one's quite nice, 382 wins. Party challenges, Jumbo Pikachus, Raid Expert, Successor, Mega Evolve a Pokemon 1,000 times, done 4,501. Wayfarer agreements, got 1,736. Law module, Rising Star, win a raid. So yeah, there's quite a few, if there's any in particular. Happy sober live stream to you. Hey Yellow, how are you? See, we did get a few more Machops down here. 200 plus on showcase, awesome. That is absolutely incredible. Well done on that. Do you live in somewhere rural as well, where you can hopefully guarantee easy wins like I do? I think that's one thing that rural players have really benefited on, is the showcases. G-Max Inteleon, yes, I am looking forward to G-Max Inteleon. It's just whether we can get enough numbers, because with us being in the UK, quite a few of our local people are going to the Go Fest in Paris. So it all depends on how many left as to whether we can do them or not, and also how many people we can entice via sending invites out. So if anybody wants to put a name down for an invite with Inteleon at a weekend, make sure to do so. Quite a rude interruption by a peacock. Literally a peacock. I'm not making that up. He's literally stood on that fence across there. I don't know if you can see him. Let's go see if we can say hello. I saw a wild peacock. What an awesome animal that is. So there you go. We have a wild peacock on the stream. I didn't think that was going to happen today. What's for dinner? I have no idea what's for dinner. Not too sure. Probably pie. Pie and mash. Proper hard English dinner. Pie and mash. How about a kebab? I'm not too fond on kebabs, to be fair. To be like proper in the mood to even give it a thought. So how many more can we do today? We can actually only do these two left here. So we've actually ended up being in the right place at the right time. Oh no, we've just collected another 800. Forget what I've just said. We could do 4. We could do 4 more today. I thought we'd reach our limit, but that was actually pretty cool. So we'll jump into these and then try to find another 2 if we can. Need to really look at a map after this and see where the next 2 are, to be fair. I could do with a gift. I'll try and remember to send you a gift, don't worry. We haven't seen a Gigantamax Gengar tonight. Have we got one in our storage? Yes, we have. And it's a shiny one. Look at this. Look at this. Just everybody just stop what you're doing and look at that. That is just incredible. Shiny G-Max Gengar. I'm not going to even argue about it. It's the best shiny in the game. It's just fact. Fact. I'm really thinking whether to use the bottle cap on my shiny Gigantamax Gengar, because that would make it to a Shundo, but it is a 98. So if a gold bottle cap increases the stats by 3, by a maximum of 3, is it really worth spending it on something I only need to increase the stat by 1? Or should I wait for a silver bottle cap? That's the ultimatum I'm with. Do I not spend it on a 98 Gengar, hoping to get a silver bottle cap in the future to just top it up to a Shundo? Or do I use a gold one when I could have used it on a 93, on a 98 Gengar? Decisions. It's going to be a hard choice to make. Now let's jump into this Machop and see what we get out of this one. So 713 though. I'm a big fan of a Mega Evolved Shiny though. Yeah, both the Mega Evolved Gengar and the Gigantamax Shiny Gengar. Both of those shinies are absolutely incredible when we turn white. I'm just really disappointed that normal Gengar didn't get a shiny, probably justified. Because of course, Shiny Ghastly looks awesome because he's got that blue haze around him. Shiny Haunter looks amazing because he's got that blue tongue. Even though it's not much of a change, it's still really, really nice shiny. And then Gengar just goes a little bit downhill because you can barely see the difference. It's just a slight difference in like the skin colour of him. But it would be so cool if you did make him go white, or at least give him a blue tongue or something. That would be awesome. Or at least make it so you could see his tongue, but it was blue anyway. But yeah, even normal G-Max Gengar looks absolutely incredible. I do love that my most favoured Pokemon gets both a Gigantamax and a Mega. I think that's pretty cool. Not many people's favourite Pokemon gets both, unless of course you're a fan of like Charizard, for example, or Blastoise, or Venusaur. That'll be too much. Yeah, it probably would be too much if it was all white. No shiny. 715. So we are going in the right direction. I think we've had 2 713s in a row. Then we've just had a 715. Still got time to do 2 more if we can find them. And that's a big if. We're going to have to see the map and see where we can get to in the last remaining minutes. Now, there isn't any close about, and this is the only bad side to living somewhere quite rural, is that these power spots just seem very few and far between. And even when I was in my local community in a town at the weekend, the distance between the G-Max were just quite far in some instances. So that is the only downside to these power spots. Now, the only thing I have noticed with these power spots is when you submit stops in the game and they get accepted, but they are too close to other things that they don't actually generate a stop in the game, those ones can become power spots. So that's what's happened here. When I submitted this one, which is another notice board around this nature reserve that I'm in, when I submitted this one, it was too close to that stop there, that you can see. So it was too close to this mammoth footprint. But because it was too close, it didn't generate a stop, but it's still within the game's memory. So when these power spots came around, it automatically put it in as power spots instead. So a power spot can be in the same cell as a stop, but you can't have two stops in the same cell, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's still worth, if you live somewhere rural and you think, oh, that would make a good stop, but it's too close to something, submit it anyway, because it could turn into a power spot and you could end up benefiting through the game that way, even though it's not going to be a stop. No, you can't nominate a power spot. It goes through the same nomination process as a normal stop. And then what it basically goes off is, what they use for power spots is generic businesses. So business names you've probably seen around you that normally aren't allowed on the game. They've used generic businesses off Google Maps to generate some spots. And then others are failed Pokestops, which are too close to other things to actually become a stop in the game. So that's what's happened down this end where I am. Both of these power spots that you can see are too close, ones that we've just done. They're actually too close to other stops to actually become a stop in the game. So instead, they've become a power spot, which is still really, really handy because it means I've still got more things to interact with, especially when it's a Max Monday like today. So I would still recommend, even if you do walk past something and you think, oh, there's a notice board there, let's say, but it may be too close to another stop which already exists, still submit it because it could become a power spot and it will still benefit you. So that is going to be hopefully helpful to quite a few people. And hopefully you'll gain quite a few more power spots. So that's what I've started doing in my local area, in my local community, is that even if I think something is too close to perhaps be accepted in the game because it's too close to something that's already there, just submit it anyway, because the worst that could happen is that it doesn't appear in game at all, and the best thing is that it becomes a power spot, which it will help you. So it's still worth trying it and see what happens. So another research task complete. Ferroseed this time. I don't know what the CP for a Hundo Ferroseed is. I've got 400 and something in my head. Let's see what that one was. Yeah, it's definitely over 400 by those stats. I think around 411 or something like that. That's what I've got in my head. I could be wrong. So we might as well kick this gym while we're here and turn this one to red. So gyms are, if you don't know much about the nomination process, basically you have little cells. I'll try to explain it in ways that I can without physically showing you on a map or whatever. But basically there's little cells on a map. So imagine Google Images with loads of little cells on it, and you get about 24 little cells which make up a big cell. So bear with me. So in each one of those little squares you can only have one Pokestop. If you have two things in the same little cell, only one of them will appear in game. The other one may become a power spot, but only one of those will appear as a Pokestop or a gym. In the big cell, you will get a gym if there are two Pokestops in the same sort of area, if that makes sense. So if you submitted something near you and it's coming as a stop, if you submit something close by but not too close to that stop, you will hopefully get another another thing accepted, and one of those two will become a gym. So once there's two things in the same gym cell, one of those will become a gym. Then if you get that up to 6 things in that same gym cell, you'll get another gym, and then up to 20 things, you'll get a third gym. So 3 gyms is a maximum you can have in one given gym cell. That's the biggest you can have. Now, obviously, these gym cells, they don't cover all your area. You might have about 4 different gym cells around you. So, therefore, you might have up to a maximum of 12 gyms that are possible near you, depending on how big your community is. Obviously, towns and stuff, you could have loads of gym cells in them. So, yeah, it's worth doing a bit of studying and just working out what's around you and seeing what you can actually get around you, because there will be a map online if you do some studying of what the cells are and what's currently in them, and then you'll know where to go and submit stuff. Sorry, I can't see your comments at the moment. Like, just bear with me 2 seconds. Yep, there we go. Can I add you as a friend? Yeah, of course, Bobby. Thanks so much for joining, by the way. If you show your code, I'll donate. Gym cells are made up to small cells or big cells. Yeah, so I'll try. Oh, I've gone too far away. Let me just add on this gym before a raid starts. So yeah, I think what I'll probably do is, let's just add on this gym, and I'll see if I can explain it a little bit better. Shiny, let's put something in here. Let's go for that little guy. You can stay in that gym. Little iRobot. And I'll just stick my trainer code up on the screen if anybody does want to add me. I know Bobby requested it in the comments just, so make sure to take a screenshot of that and add me. Yeah, so gym cells, as I call them, are made up of loads of little small cells, which within inside those small cells you can have 1 Pokestop within inside each small cell. But there's about, trying to guess now on top of my head, I would say it's around about 32, I think there is, 32 small cells within 1 big cell. If that makes sense. I'm trying to explain it as easiest as I can without confusing you too much. It'll be better if I could do a YouTube video. If I find a map online which shows you, I'll be able to show you better on a YouTube video and do a YouTube short and explain you how it works. King Bobby has added me. Thanks so much, King Bobby. Do you have a Lilligant? Yes, I do have a Lilligant. I think I have a shiny Lilligant as well. No shiny. I do have a couple of shiny Pettilils though, which can go into shiny Lilligant. So yeah, 2 shiny Pettilils and a Hundo Lilligant. Yay, Lilligant! Yeah, if I can find a website online which shows a map, then I can also do a YouTube video where I put down the link for the map as well at the bottom. That might be a bit helpful as well. And then not only can you see how I do it, you can also see, you know, you can find out for your area as well using the link below. That'll probably be the best way of doing it. If you please send me invites to Ray, that would be awesome too. Rayquaza. I don't think Rayquaza's in raids at the moment, he's just Groudon at the moment. Unless you want invites with Groudon. So yeah, it's Groudon that's on Legendary 5 raids at the moment. Kyogre next week. I just got my first shiny in Pokemon. Black and white. I caught over 50 boxes of Moist Lilligans. Oh, nice. You got a shiny Petilil. That is awesome. Yeah, there's no Ray Raids, unfortunately, Bobby. Just shiny, just Groudon at the moment, which you can get shiny. So our next Machop is right the way up there, which we're not going to be able to get to in time, I don't think. 6 minutes, and it just seems too far away, that Don does. We'll see where we can get to him this time. There might be one up here that we can get to just in time. Although we will have to just pick up a pace a little bit. Right, let's see what's this rocket got in store for us. You'll be feasting into the ground. Now this is sometimes Tyrant. Let's see what it is. Sandshrew. That's annoying. Oh no, sorry. The ground one sometimes Rolber. The rock one is sometimes Tyrant. That's the one I'm getting confused with. Yeah, Rock and Roll is sometimes Tyrant, and it can always also be Amora as well, which is, both of them are very, very nice ones to get. Primal Kyogre just smashing that Vibrava up. And a Flygon at the last, but probably not going to last very long now. With our Primal Kyogre out and about. Do you have a shiny? Do you have a shiny Lisa? Shiny Lisa. What is a shiny Lisa? Trying to think what Pokemon you might mean by that. Lake Garza. Shiny Lake Garza? I'm not too sure what you mean by that. Sorry, Bobby. Playcasa. Sorry, Bobby, I'm not too sure what you mean. He's trolling, lol. Maybe. Chimeco. Now there is a Dynamax Machop there, but it's only got 3 minutes left on it. I don't know if we're going to make that or not. We'll try. It'll be very close if we can. But if we don't, it will turn into a Dynamax Beldum, so we could perhaps do that anyway. Beldum doesn't have a Gigantamax form like Machop does. So it might still be worth doing that. No. I'm not going to fall for that, Bobby. I mean, thanks very much for getting involved in the comments, but I mean, come on. I'm not going to fall for that. Yeah, it's so obvious. One minute to get to this Machop. I don't think we're going to get there. We'll try. We'll try. Bag is full. Bag is no longer full. "30 seconds. Run, Forrest, run. No, we're not getting that. Still, we'll do it when it turns into a Beldum. It's a shame we couldn't do a Machop and then do a Beldum straight after, because we have got enough particles to do both. But yeah, we'll just do the Machop and we'll finish on that. Sorry, the Beldum. We'll finish the live stream after that. Now, I did submit a new Pokestop around this area where we're stood now, so hopefully that appears in game very, very soon. We may do a little bit of a restart of the game after this and see if it is appeared in game before we finish the stream. So it has indeed turned to a Beldum again now after 7 o'clock. And we should be able to reach it soon. Should just get it from up here. Oh, it's done that glitch. That annoying little glitch where it just won't show you what you're doing. Won't let you rotate around or anything. So we've had to restart anyway, so we'll soon see if this new Pokestop's in. I'm out, Danzo. Have a good day. Yeah, thanks so much for joining, Aston. Thanks so much for sticking around for the whole channel, or the whole live stream, should I say. Do really much appreciate it. Hope you have a good day, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow maybe for Spotlight Hour. Incoming! Iron Head, we can survive with that with our Excadrill. It's not a bad attack, really. Definitely try and dodge some of them though still, as we pick up those particles that are floating about. Dodge. Did we get there in time? We did. Again, dodge. Just too late then. But still didn't get hit too hard. Right, so Dynamaxing. More Dynamax Hundo Excadrill, level 15 as well. There's one hit. There's two, so we will have to Dynamax again to take this Beldum down. And to just charge up a max meter a little bit quicker, we'll switch into Gengar. Now, Gengar, you'll see a noticeable difference on how quickly we manage to charge up this max meter, because Gengar's fast move just is so much quicker than the Excadrill that we were using before. So you can see the max meter building energy quite nicely. So we build the same amount of energy using Gengar with each fast attack that we were with Excadrill. It's just like doing the fast attacks a lot quicker. So as you can see, we're not already nearly Dynamaxing again at this stage, and we will be doing now when we collect this particle. There we go. So we'll switch into Excadrill again for re-attacking. Doing those ground types attacks are going to help us against this steel type Beldum. There's one. And we may be able to do it after a second. No, the third one's just going to be needed. And there we go, free Beldum. 3 attacks and Beldum is down and out. So, let's see if we can manage to get a shiny or decent Beldum before we finish the live stream tonight. Now, of course, it was Max Monday featuring Machop, but this one we just couldn't get here in time to do it as a Machop, so we have done it as a Beldum, and no shiny 535. Now, I can't quite remember what a decent one is for Beldum, so let's see how good 535 is after we've caught it. Doesn't stay in first ball, annoyingly. Let's see if we can catch it on the second one. There we go, excellent throw. And there we go, we've caught it on excellent throw, so that's a nice little XP bonus. So 535 Beldum is not terrible, but not something probably worth keeping. A 13, 14, 10, so not a very, very good Beldum at all. So that has been the Max Monday live stream today. Let's have a quick review at what we've managed to get in terms of Dynamax tonight. And with that Max Beldum, we also managed to do 6 Dynamax Machops, as you can see here. We started off the night with 700 CP. That was the first one that we did. We then went 694, 705, 713, another 713, and 715. So we were getting slightly better as the night went on, but still nowhere near that 730 CP for the Hundo. So let's have a quick look and see how those Machops go with our previous ones. And as you can see, our best Machop is a 720 CP, which is a 96, but missing those 2 all-important attack stats. And our best one that we've evolved into a Machamp, let's have a quick look down here. We have had a couple of 98s. You can see here a 98 Dynamax there and a 98 Dynamax there. So that's pretty decent. Those ones both have attack 15, 15, 14 there and 15, 14, 15 there. So both very good ones, and no doubt they've been powered up to level 40, and of course not fully maxed out because Gigantamax is just so much better. So we're hoping to lucky trade a few of the Gigantamax Machamps that we've got, because we didn't end up with a decent one during the Gigantamax Machamp battle day. So hopefully we can lucky trade a couple of those, and then we can power up a Gigantamax instead. So thanks so much for everybody who's tuned in to a live stream tonight. We will be live again tomorrow for Spotlight Hour, which is featuring Magnemite. So keep an eye out for that on the channel. We'll be live again at 5:45 p.m. UK time, so same time as tonight. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well, turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.